everyone and welcome to my live video this afternoon. My name's Hannah and I work at Oscha Slings. Please do let me know when you have arrived at the live video. I would love it if you could share the video in our Clan Oscha Facebook group. And if you're not in Clan Oscha already, you should definitely join. It's a great place for us all to chat together, talk about everything Oscha, and yeah, just have really nice conversations about our slings and our new releases and our oldies but goodies as well. I'm just going to wait and see who is going to join me this afternoon. And once you're here, we will get started. Welcome Claire, thank you for joining us today. Do let me know where you're tuning in from this afternoon, and if someone could share this video in our Facebook group Clan Oscha, that would be brilliant, and just let me know once you've done that, then I can get started with today's video. Today we will be looking at our brand new releases. I'm going to be giving you all the info on our Augmented Lunae Schön and also our Piekna. So these are both of our new releases and they are both super special because they have a really interesting weave techniques. Welcome everyone! Hi there! Hi Kayla from the US. Lovely to have you joining us, and Petra and Leanne. Lovely to have you all here this afternoon. Hi Ingrid. Where are you all coming in from today, and how are you on this fine Tuesday afternoon? Hi Alison from Germany. Welcome to my live video this afternoon. Okay, let's get started. I think someone has shared this in Clan Oscha, but if you could give me the thumbs up that's definitely been shared into our Facebook group, that would be brilliant. So once I know that it's been shared, then I will start the video. Hi there Laura. Hi Cami. Lovely to have you both with us. Hi Sarah. Where are you tuning in from today? Brilliant. Okay, let's get started with the video, and then hopefully some more of you will join me shortly. And I presume the video has been shared in Clan Oscha already, so oh brilliant, thanks Bree for giving me the thumbs up, that's wonderful. Okay, let's get started. So, to kick off the live video this afternoon, I am going to tell you all about Augmented Lunae Schön. Oh my goodness, look how vibrant this sling is. Hi Petra, hi Catherine. Oh hi Catherine, thank you for joining. Catherine is our lovely tester for this Augmented Lunae release. So Catherine, if you have any input at all while I'm doing the video, please do chip in. So back to Augmenta, look at that colourway. So this is our first ever pocket weave and our first ever quilt weave woven on a gradation of colours, so on a multicolour warp. So this makes it super special. We've been looking to do this for quite some time, and we have chosen our classic Belle warp, so our beautiful Belle warp for the occasion. So with the pocket weave technique, I'm going to give you a little bit of info and then I'll pop it on and we'll talk about the wrapping qualities as well. So with the pocket weave, the way it is constructed, so we actually have two layers of cloth here. So we've got the top layer that you can see here from the face of the fabric, and then all over the design we have it pinned in place where you see the blue on the front, then it's pinned in place all around the design. So on the back here, there's little pockets of, you can see little pockets of air. So when you actually see the sling in real life, you'll see what I mean. And I'm sorry I don't have any scrap pieces with me this afternoon because that would have been a really cool way to show you. But I will promise to do that at some point for you. But basically, everywhere you have this blank area, there's a pocket of air trapped in between there, and it just adds this amazing cushiness to the fabric, and it gives a really lightweight feeling on your, or weightless feeling, sorry, on your shoulders when you're carrying your little one. And I think Catherine, excuse me, I think Catherine will be able to definitely vouch for the cushiness of this sling and for pocket weave in general. So the 2 layers of cloth are anchored in place throughout wherever the design joins. So wherever you see the weft coming through, this gorgeous electric blue weft. So on this sling, we have the magical Augmenta pattern picked out in a beautiful electric blue. So everywhere you see this here, we've got a pick of tencel and then a pick of organic combed cotton. So we've got an alternating weft across the weft, which means we've been able to add in a tiny bit of tencel to this sling, and I'll tell you why we've done that in a wee minute or two. So with this pattern, just to point out, I love this pattern so much. So for anyone who loves star signs or astronomy, this is the pattern for you. So it shows the waxing and waning moons, so the cycle of the moon here. And then in between the moon, the waxing and waning moons, we have the astrological symbols. And then along at the top here, we've got the symbols for the planets below the stars. So it's this beautiful night sky, and the colour grad goes from this lovely deep blue through rich purple violet and up to a kind of lilac-y blue at the top. So let me put this one on and I'll tell you a little bit more about the blend and why it is the wrapping qualities of this one. So I can see there's a question. If you have any questions or comments throughout the video, please just pop them and I will reply. So Berry is asking, hi, I'm from Hungary. I like how it pops the moons out. Yes, so what's amazing with pocket weave is you get this really lovely stark contrast over the whole pattern. So normally when you have a woven wrap, jacquard woven wrap, the warp and the weft kind of mingle a little bit, so the overall look is not as crisp. But with the pocket weave, you get this beautiful stark contrast between the warp and the weft, which means the pattern really pops. So I think this particular pattern works so well. Oh, and I should show you the back, because another really amazing thing about pocket weave is you have this beautiful contrast on the back. So the wrap almost looks like an entirely different wrap from the reverse side. So if you love teals and you love blue, you could focus on this side for your carries, or if you love the purple and the deep rich colours at the bottom there of the blues and the midnight sky, then you may want to go and focus with the face of the wrap, or what we've decided is the face of the wrap. So there you go. Let me just see if there's any more comments before I pop it on. Laura says it's stunning. And Helen says Catherine says, sorry, I keep calling you by your sister, Catherine. That's awful, isn't it? Catherine says the contrast is beautiful. Lovely. Perfect. Yes, do keep any comments or questions coming and I will do my best to answer it. Alison says you can't go wrong with purple. I love the Belle warp. Me too. I love the Belle warp. It's so beautiful. It goes with so many different colours as well on the weft. Lovely. Okay, perfect. So like I say, let me know if there's anything. Lovely. Okay. Yes, so Bree's saying it looks thinner in hand than I was expecting. Yes, so this is really interesting actually with the blend of this one. So even though it has 2 layers of fabric, it doesn't necessarily mean that it feels thicker in hand. So I'm going to pop this one on and I'll tell you a little bit more. So with the pop it in this is the size 4, so I'm going to pop it in a front wrap cross carry, but I'm going to tie it at the shoulder for this one. So I'm going to make sure to leave myself just a short amount on this shoulder here. And a little bit longer to go around my body. So with the GSM of this one is actually 268. So it's a really lovely medium weight sling. But because we have the tencel in the yarn, in the blend, sorry, the tencel blend, it adds to the kind of smooth texture and makes it really easy to tie and easy to glide. So it can be so it makes it easier to, easier to kind of maneuver, I guess. But the high percentage of cotton helps it to stay grippy. So there's only 20% tencel in this sling, but it sort of adds to the malleability of the pocket weave. So it makes it really lovely and soft and smooth and easy to carry with, still having that lovely grip. And I think that Catherine definitely noticed that when she was doing her review, that actually she doesn't often wear tencel, but certainly this sling has made her reconsider that in terms of pocket weave and the added properties of the tencel yarn. Now with tencel as well, it is a viscose yarn, and generally with the man-made fibre of the tencel, so either tencel or bamboo, you find that the weight of those yarns don't compare to the weight of the natural yarns. So they actually, although they weigh in heavier, so technically it's 268 GSM, actually feels lighter in hand, which is exactly what Brie was saying. So you can really see the handle and the drape of this sling. It's lovely and lightweight. So that means it's going to be really good for all year round. So you could wear this one in the summer with a heavy toddler and it would still be perfect. And of course you could wear it with a newborn, and you could wear it, in the winter as well, and you'd want to layer up a little bit more. So it's very breathable and it's not hot and sticky. And of course it is easy care as well. You can really put this wrap through its paces. So if you are looking for a sling to take you all the way from newborn all the way through to toddlerhood, then this would definitely be a really good option. You can see the contrast on the back there as I'm pulling that over my shoulder. The colourway is just so stunning. Okay. Yes, Catherine says it's 2 wraps for the price of one. And if you only want 1 wrap for your entire baby wearing journey, I would definitely say to go for something like this with a pocket weave. Lovely. Ingrid is asking, will it be available in made to order? Yes, it will be. So we'll have this one available in made to order, and it will, so you'll be able to order it in any of our carriers or our accessories as well. And we will have mock-ups of these on the website on the listings so that you can see what those will look like when they're created. So this sling will be available tomorrow evening. We will have our Secret Stash happy hour event, which we always have on release weeks in the evening here in the UK, to hopefully make the time difference that little bit easier for those who are joining us from further afield. So I'm just going to do a slip knot on the shoulder so that you can really see the weight of the sling and the knot at the top. Just bear with me while I create the knot. We have got tutorials on our YouTube channel as well. If you're looking to do any of the carries that we regularly cover in the videos, you can check those out there. Okay, I'm just going to tighten that up. And there we have the Augmented Lunae Schön on the Belle warp, the pocket weave. Just looks so gorgeous with the stars going all the way up and over there at the back, doesn't it? and you can see the width of the knot here is very manageable. It isn't bulky at all. It feels so comfy on the shoulders. You basically get a really lovely cushiness on your shoulder from the pocket weave. So if you haven't tried one, I would say it's definitely worth trying a pocket weave to see what you think of it. Let me see if there's any more questions. Oh, and Catherine has said it fluffs up a little after a wash, so that's great. This is a brand new sling, just fresh out of the bag today. I've given it a little iron, but I haven't washed it. So it will fluff up after the wash and it will become even smoother and softer. But as you can see, it's very easy to use straight from the bag. You don't need to break it in because it is quite a nice lightweight feeling for a cotton tencel sling. So yes. So Elise is asking, how do the wrapping qualities compare with the Augmented Lunae Vision? So I think with the Augmented Lunae Vision, I believe it was the Mako cotton or a slightly different type of cotton, and it kind of held its shape a little bit more. I would say this one probably feels a little bit more cushy, probably a bit more grippy as well. I feel that the texture of it feels a wee bit more grippy. The Vision was a little bit more, bit smoother actually in its texture. So yeah, it depends what you want. I'm not entirely sure what the GSM was of Vision off the top of my head. It might be that this one is a little bit on the thinner side, and that's why it feels really lovely to wrap with. Yes, I don't have one to hand, but I think it's probably fairly similar on the most part, to be honest, but I think it will depend on the GSM for that one. Catherine, thank you so much. Oh, I didn't, okay, you're identical twins, so that's why I'm getting you mixed up. Okay, that makes me feel a bit better, thank you. Sabrina says, I really like the colours. Will it be made into a ring sling as well? Yes, it will, and this will make a really stunning ring sling because when you pop your sling in through the rings, you know, it shows the reverse of the fabric coming down the side. So on the sort of tail of the fabric, and you'll see this colour, which is just so beautiful. So if you really want to go for something that is going to show off the best of both, then a ring sling is a really good option, and it will feel that little bit more cushy and padded and comfortable as well as a ring sling. We do have lovely photos that our model Funky took of the ring sling, so you should definitely check those out. And yeah, they'll be on the website tomorrow, so you can see what it looks like in a ring sling. So Lauren says, I can't remember what you said, Catherine, I'm so sorry, but how does it do in the heat? We won't see cooler weather here in North Carolina until December or January, unfortunately. So it's possible that Catherine has replied maybe down here, but from what I would say is that it does feel like it would be great in the heat. It feels very lightweight. You can do single layer carries, or you can do a carry like this and have your back open and free so you don't have a lot of fabric around, and it feels really comfortable and very weightless on your shoulder. So I'd say it probably is a good option for the heat, especially if you're carrying a heavier child, because if you are looking for a very thin wrap just for the heat, but you have a heavier baby, then that can be a little bit less comfortable. So I'd say it's probably the perfect option for someone who is carrying a heavier baby or a toddler but doesn't want to overheat. This really does seem like a really good solution. Maybe, I hope you agree, Catherine, with my explanation there. Morgan says, I'm so excited to hear some of the technical details of how you were able to figure out a warp grad with a pocket weave. I'm thinking, gosh, can I answer that any more fully than what I've answered already? Yeah, so we obviously have the main warp is the Belle grad. So you've got the colours from the midnight blue all the way through to the lovely lilac blue at the top, and then you have your weft as normal, but it sort of goes over underneath And then you are anchoring in place the warp and the weft, so that you pull forward the underside onto the top, but because it's a pocket weave, they don't mingle in the same way. They actually get like anchored around the pattern. So you see like so it means that you see the full part of the weft when you look at the face here, and you see the entire weft comes right through to the surface, rather than parts of the weft and the warp showing more of the weft on the front, if you get what I mean. And the same on the back. We do have a video that we did with our designer, Tuela, that's on our YouTube channel, and we really do a little bit of a kind of Q&A, a little bit of a chat with her, all about our different weave structures, pocket weave and quilt weave, but also the hybrid weave. So it might be a good idea to check that out if you're looking for even more information. But basically you have the warp and the weft running along, and then you pull out up from the warp all the way onto the top when you're weaving, to bring the weft forward to the front of the fabric. So that way you can get both. But the warp is sort of warped up the same way as any of the other, it's warped up in the same way, but it's actually, you can't include a pocket weave at the same time as doing a regular weave on the loom. It has to be two separate things. So although we have gone for the Belle warp with this order, we couldn't we had to weave a whole new warp just for these slings, basically. You can't just add on a pocket weave and a normal weave as you go, as part of an overall warp run. I hope I'm not getting too technical there. Maybe it's interesting for people. Do give me feedback and let me know about that. So Ariana says, so since the pocket weave is 2 layers, does that make it stronger? I would say that it really is very strong and very durable. I guess it probably technically means that it is a bit stronger. It's similar to the hybrid weave, where you have the extra, the addition of the extra yarns, and the kind of structure of it actually makes it a lot stronger. So that probably is partly why it feels so comfortable. But I think it's actually more the addition of the air in between. So when it's when you kind of pull it together like this, it feels quite spongy. I would say that it is very strong and durable. I don't know that I would say it's stronger than other slings, because they are all obviously extremely strong, but I would say for a sling of this weight, or the feeling of this weight, it actually does feel very strong and supportive. So if you were going for a much lighter sling, it might not feel as strong, even though of course it will hold your baby, as all of our slings have been safety tested to do so. Catherine says it's very moldable as well. Yes, that means that it sort of glides into place and it holds itself well. You can see how well it's kind of snug into the baby there too, so I think that is definitely part of the addition of the tinsels helped with that. And for the lady who was asking about the Augmented Lunae Vision, I would say that is something, it's maybe not quite as moldable as this one. Bree says, what prep did you do, iron or wash? I only ironed this one, I haven't washed it yet, and I believe it will fluff up even more after a wash, but you don't need to wash it right away or anything. Yeah, so that's everything. It's super easy. Catherine says, we've used this on a sunny day, but it's only got up to about 20 degrees here recently, and it doesn't feel sweaty at all, so hopefully that is helpful. Yes, in the UK we have a lot of really temperate weather, and I know that Catherine doesn't live too far from Edinburgh really, in the grand scheme of things, so yes, it's hard to know for sure, but I would say definitely a good one for hot weather. Ariane says, please tell me there'll be plenty available. I believe there will be plenty available of this one. It's always hard to know, always hard to tell, but I don't think it's going to be super limited. Of course, we wove an entire warp because we wanted to do this special pocket weave. So, okay, lovely. Oh, Lucia says, looks very stunning. Well, it looks like a very stunning dress. Oh, do you mean my dress? That's very kind. Lovely. Okay. Oh, that's brilliant. I think someone, possibly Zoe, has replied about Augmented Lunae Vision to say that this one was woven a slightly different way with a very fine warp yarn, so it's quite different feel. And this one is less dense, it will feel lighter and cushier. Great. Thanks, Zoe. Don't worry, Annika, you're not too late. You can watch back after we finish, but we still have a whole nother wrap to go, so I will show you those. No, Annika, we haven't seen Ray already. I'm about to get onto that just now. And lovely to have you all with us. Okay, that's great. Catherine says, I washed it on a delicate 30 degrees, hung to dry, and then medium low heat, low steam iron. So that's a good bit of advice. It is super easy care, I would say, for this one. Amber said, can you speak to how it feels compared to Augmented Lunae Vision, please? So Amber, we've covered that above in the video, but don't worry, this video will be getting posted on our Facebook page as soon as it's finished, so you can rewind and find that exact bit. And also there's a comment from my colleague Zoe above that talks about the comparison there, so that's good. Lauren says, okay, I was hoping to get all the answers. I didn't want to hear so that this warp would be less tempting, but it sounds like absolutely perfect. Sorry, Lauren. Yes, so Zoe's saying we had to weave separate, we had to weave a separate warp in the same colours as the regular Belle warp to create a pocket weave, so the whole warp is pocketed. Yeah, exactly. Could we ask Carmen to give more info in the clan if you like? Yes, I think we could ask Carmen to give a little bit more info on, there was the question about how we get the pure warp to the sort of the grad all the way over in comparison to the weft and how it kind of works and how it intertwines. So yeah, we could definitely look at and answer that a little bit more thoroughly in the clan, and that would be really nice. Ooh, Catherine says, could someone do a video at the mill of a pocket weave being woven? That's a brilliant idea. Yes. Okay, I'm not sure when we have the next pocket weave on the loom, but I'm going to definitely make note of that. Brilliant. It's very hard to describe in with the final product, I guess it's very hard to describe. Okay. Yes, Pam says, ooh, so the entire warp has to be prepared for pocket weave. Does that mean you can't do regular? Yes. Thanks, Pam. I already did just answer that, so that's good. Okay, Amber's saying, yes, that's all covered, so don't worry, you can watch it and you can also read all the comments at the end as well, so if you've missed anything, you don't need to worry. I think Zoe's correcting me a little bit on the pocket weave as well. You don't need to make the whole warp in that way. It's possible to make a single colour warp pocketed and switch between regular weave and pocket, but you would have less colour options. Okay, so often one side of the warp is one colour and the other is another colour, like Aran knit, but you have to have the whole warp set up as a double cloth for a grad. Okay, that makes sense, yeah. I knew that definitely for a double cloth with this particular one, we had to have the full warp pocketed, or a double cloth. So yeah, so that's the case with this one, but I guess if you're doing single colours or dual colours, it's not a problem. Okay, Lovely. And Catherine is saying that it's not quite as spongy as iron knit, but that would make complete sense because iron knit is a superwash wool blend, so it's going to be cushy in its own anyway, and then it has the additional pocket weave on it. So certainly that would be the case. And Monica says, this wrap is gorgeous and I can't wait to have my hands on it. Oh, that's such a lovely comment. Thank you, Monica. And Zoe said this warp, one-sided is the grad, one side is the turquoise, then a turquoise weft comes in and meets with the turquoise warp yarns. That's how you get those really clean areas of colour. Yes, so that's confirmed what I was thinking about how we get that lovely stark colour of the electric blue against the warp. So one side is the grad, one side is the turquoise, and then another weft. Then the turquoise weft comes in and meets the turquoise warp yarns. Yeah, and that's how you get those lovely areas of colour. Thank you, Zoe, for confirming that. And then Zoe says, lol, I hope I'm right with all this too. I think it's about time we get Carmen back on the Pocket Weave chat for the for all the technical questions out there. Yeah, Pam says, oh yes, it's really like a double warp, and that's true. Okay, perfect. Yes, the double warp. So Christina says, honestly, you could tell me it feels like sandpaper and I'd still buy it. The colours and the patterns straight from my dreams. Oh, that's such a lovely feedback. Thank you so much, Christina. Gorgeous. Beautiful. So Kate is asking, my only issue is Augmenta or Ray. So let's get on to the Ray next, and I will show you that one and tell you all about the quilt weave, which is super exciting. So my handy slip knot can just be slipped down just like that, and then I'm able to pop my baby out and take the Ray off, and I will show you the Ray. Okay, so this is Ray Piekna, and a really fun fact about the warp, the Belle warp, all of the items that we've woven on this Belle colourway, their names mean beautiful in different languages. So we have Schön, which is beautiful in German, and we have Piekna, which I hope I'm pronouncing correctly, in Polish. So they all mean Ray beautiful, or Augmented Lunae beautiful. So here is the Ray quilt weave, and I'm hoping that those lovely quilty textures, you can actually see it a little bit on the back easier, I think, because it's a single colour on the back. If I hold that into the right angle, you should be able to see that lovely quilty texture. And I took some photos as well, which I'll share in the clan after the video. They look really cool. So Lucia says, I truly hope to see more of it in the pictures. Yes, so the quilt weave, then the difference with this one is the warp is made up in exactly the same way, the double cloth warp, and it's woven in exactly the same colourways and blend as the, or most of the blend, as the Augmented Lunae, but inside, all the way along the sling, captured inside, not only is there pockets of air captured inside all of these elements, but there is also a cushy quilting stitch that goes all the way through. So it's a quilting yarn that goes all the way through the middle, and that just adds this most amazing cushy texture. So if you're looking for the ultimate in a cushy sling, then I would definitely say that quilt weave is your go-to cushiness. So we developed this technique with our weavers for, well, exclusively with our weavers for the for our baby slings. So it is obviously a technique that is used in the weaving world, but in terms of baby slings, we believe that our Oscha ones are the only quilt weave out there that are done in the exact same special way. So if you're looking for something that is lovely and cushy, ultimate comfort, then this sling would definitely be a good one for you. So it's 317 GSM, so it is on the thicker side, and so I would say with this one you could use it from maybe 12 weeks, so maybe not tiny newborn, but from 12 weeks all the way up until toddlerhood and beyond. It is so sturdy, so comfortable, and it is just really unparalleled in terms of cushy. So I'm just going to pop it in as a front wrap cross carry to start with, and then I might try out something special towards the end to show off all the colours. So there's going to be a review as well on Clan Oscha. Our tester has been trying it out, so she'll give you her review of this as well, her independent review. But for now you can see how it moves, and I can explain to you how it feels in hand. So you do have that lovely extra glide from the tencel. So this one is 84% organic combed cotton, and that's because the quilting stitch is also cotton, I believe. And the you have 16% tencel in this one. And you have that amazing electric blue on the other side. And it feels almost spongy when you pull it together. You know, you can imagine a quilt you know, that you may have seen that kind of same kind of fluffed up kind of pockety lovely texture that you get with the quilt, with the traditional quilts, but of course it's not quite as thick as you would have if you were looking for a quilt for your home. So Morgan says, is the quilt stitch part of the warp or the weft? It's actually inside, like it's completely inside it, so it's separate from the warp and the weft, and it's actually pinned down by the warp meeting the weft, or the extra green stitch coming along and pinning everything in place. So it not only pins the pattern in place and the pockets in place, it actually pins the quilt stitch in place as well. So I don't have a scrap piece for you, but if you were to see this opened out, you would actually see all these threads going all the way along. It's really special. I really want to be able to show you the angle. Maybe you can see it there. You can almost see the ripples of the quilt sort of wadding, almost feels like, on the inside. And I had a really fun time ironing this one. So you can iron it, and when you iron it quite flat, and I took a video, I'll see if I can put it in the clan. You iron it and it goes quite flat, and then you can just ruffle it up like this, and then it goes all kind of like clouds, you know, where you see all that lovely kind of quilty texture to it. And then you get this really brilliant cush on your shoulder. So anyone who's tried a quilt weave sling will know how cushy it is. So I'm just going to tie this one together, and then I'll see if there's any more questions. So it will soften as well with use and with wear. At the moment it is, you know, it has been through our soft touch finishing process, but the quilt, because the quilt weave is a thicker, it does add to the thickness of the wrap. I think that it will really help from a little bit of breaking in. So that's you can see the knot there at the back, that's the sling tied. And you can see lovely padding all the way around. This one would be lovely in a ring sling as well because you'll see that opposite part of the fabric. It's so nice. And obviously my baby is quite a small baby, so you are seeing just going under there. But I would say this is going to be a wonderful toddler sling. So if you do have a toddler or a heavier baby, you're looking to carry them around, you know, without that any kind of digging in or anything, it feels super comfy on the shoulders. Okay, so Rapport de Sol. So Kate is saying Rapport de Sol, which is a similar blend to this one, similar, it's a quilt weave, didn't have hardly any stretch. It was the first quilted weave, it was amazing. I hate stretch. Well, there you go. This will feel very similar to that one. Lucia says, is this suitable for colder weather? Given the quilting, I assume it is not too airy. I would absolutely agree with that. I think that doesn't feel airy. I'd say it's going to be good probably all year round apart from the warmer climates. You may just feel, because of the weight to it and because of those extra yarns, it will just add an extra layer. But I would say if you do live in a temperate climate, or of course if you're wearing in colder weather, then it's going to be absolutely fine. One thing to keep in mind with a sling like this, where it's very comfortable and cushy, it is sometimes more comfortable to wear them in like a single layer carry, or even like a you know, one shouldered or something, because you have the added cush. It's going to add to that supportiveness. So this is like a super strong sling as well, a bit similar to the pocket weave, but it sort of takes it to the next level. Let's say, you know, it's even more supportive and comfortable for bigger babies. So you might be able to get away with it in a single layer carry or one shoulder carry and actually be able to still feel quite cool with that. Just depends what you choose to go for carry wise, or if you were using a ring sling, for example, you certainly wouldn't get as hot. It is also breathable, you know, it is natural. I mean, we have a little bit of tencel in there, but tencel's fairly breathable as well, so it is, it could be an option, but definitely something to think about around the weight of it. Teresa says, does it have stretch? Too much stretch worries me. So as Kate said below, it doesn't have a lot of stretch. I'll show that to you there. You know, certainly that way. So I wouldn't say it's got a lot of stretch, but it is fairly easy to tie. You can see it's sitting proud there a little bit, just maybe need to tighten that a wee bit more. If you are a new wrapper, you might just need to get your technique organised for getting all the strands in place before you tie off, or making little adjustments afterwards. I do think that will soften with time and wear though, and it'll become a little bit more floppy with washing and wearing. Laura says, will there be more quilted or pocket coming on this warp? No, this is it. We've got our beautiful Ray and our Augmenta, and these are our two pocket weave. I'm actually not aware of further pocket weaves we've got coming. Can't think off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure these are the last ones for the next little while, and certainly on this warp. Lucia says, I love this Ray so much, it even feels like I already had it in my life before. It looks so much like something I would have never let go. Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you, Lucia. Oh, well, we can't wait to hear what you think of this sling, and it will be released tomorrow evening at 7:30 BST, so you can join us for our Secret Stash happy hour then. Katie says, brilliant! That's brilliant. Oh, Natalie, thank you. You said it looks so gorgeous. Lovely. Okay. Katie says, I'm leaning towards Ray because quilted is just divine. I love Ray Pordasol. Yeah, that's so lovely to hear your experience of it, because we have only made, I think, one, well, the Ray Pordasol, and we've also made the Ray, it was a blue, I can't remember the name of it now, but it was the blue one that we had a couple of years ago. So the quilt weaves are like super limited, and it is so nice to be able to offer those up every so often, but they are quite rare. Okay. Oh, that's lovely. Catherine is saying that Schön will definitely be staying here. It's our first permanent Oscha tencel. Oh, nice one. Okay, beautiful. So basically with the Ray quilt weave, it's like pocket weave, but then also on steroids. You've got the extra quilting weave in there for extra cushiness. Okay, so there's some more questions which I'm going to answer. Let me see. Okay. Lucia says, Katie Hansen, every comment you make makes me want more of it. Please have mercy on me. That's sweet. You ladies crack me up sometimes. Okay, perfect. So, okay, so Lucia is asking, how would you compare it to Wish You Were Here Sweetheart when it comes to thickness? Well, it's been a long time since I've tried that sling. I would say this probably feels a little bit thicker than that because of the quilting weave stitch in it. I think that the Wish You Were Here Sweetheart, yes, it was a pocket weave, wasn't it? Yeah, it's probably not too far off, because I believe that one was quite a high GSM. And this one maybe feels a tiny bit thicker, but it also probably feels a little bit cushier too. So Morgan says, theoretically it seems that the quilt stitch might create more stability within the fabric, which could translate into a bit less moldability. Is that true? Do you know, I think that might be true. Yes, so it has a slightly less moldable feel, and you can see that when it was knotting and tying, you know, it kind of slightly wants to do its own thing, but once you put it in place and you tie it in place, it's not going anywhere. So yes, maybe it it's not quite as moldable as the other, but it's probably just because there's kind of more going on the inside of the sling. And like you say, it's kind of makes it more stable, or kind of have its own kind of structure a little bit more. Okay. So Laura's asking again, between the Augmenta and the Augmented Lunae Vision, what is the difference? So Laura, we've covered that in the earlier part of the video, so when we finished I'll pop this onto the page and you can have a look at that. And then there's also some confirmations in the comments that my colleague Zoe has replied to, so you could have a wee read of those as well, and then let us know if there's any more questions. And Jordan says, would it be comfortable as a ring sling for a toddler? Absolutely. This as a ring sling will be really good. You'll get even more kind of padding on your shoulder from the rings, and then he will be supported in that quilt weave as well. So, you know, it's also to do with how well it's supporting your baby and how well it kind of is structured around your wee one. So I think it's going to be a really good choice. It may be slightly more difficult to pull the fabric through the rings, but you know, it's not going to be anything too tricky. And also there's a tip for that: if you're pulling your wee one, if you're tightening your sling and you've got a thicker sling, lift them under their bottom a little bit and pull through the ring slings, the fabric through the ring like that, and that alleviates the tension around the ring while you do so, and then you can let them go and it will lock everything into place. So if you are looking for any more tips on ring slings, you can check out our videos on our YouTube channel. But yeah, I think it's going to be a really comfy ring sling, and you can see pictures of the ring sling as well on our website. I would say with the ring sling pictures, they have actually been photographed the wrong way round. So we popped a little caveat on there just to make sure if you're choosing the left or the right shoulder that you're getting the correct colour and the correct direction of the waves. So when we're modelling those slings, they happen to pop them on the opposite shoulder. So that's a little FYI. Jordan says, would pocket or pocket be better? I think if you're looking for a ring sling and a really supportive ring sling, I'd say the quilt weave would probably win in my opinion for a ring sling, but the pocket weave will be very comfortable as well. It's really just up to yourself which design. I would probably go with which design you like best, whether you're intrigued to try the quilt weave or whether you're happy to go with a super comfy pocket weave. It's a little bit lighter if you live in a warm climate. That might be the thing that kind of makes up your mind. Both of them will be lovely. I think it's really just what your personal preference is. If you're looking for comfort and cushiness, then I'd probably go with the quilt weave. Lovely. Yes, Morgan, Ray River is the other quilt weave that we've done in the past, so I think that one's sold out now. But this is only the third quilt weave that we've ever done. Oh, Doors of Schön Narvi prototype, was that a quilt weave? Oh, maybe that was a quilt weave, but it must have been a very limited run if so. I thought that was a pocket weave. Amna says, how would this do as a Highland pleat? Too bulky ? Actually, the photos that we have on the website are Highland pleat. I don't think it'll be too bulky at all. You can have a look at those on the website. Unfortunately, I don't have a ring sling here. I was actually hoping to bring a ring sling to show you, but we've sent them both out for photography, the ones we have made in preparation. So I would definitely check out the pictures. I don't think it will be too bulky, and actually I think it will add comfort on the shoulder. Lovely. Okay, Christina, yes, good question. Which side is the top side on both of these wraps? So the top side is the more kind of lilac colour at the top here, that lovely lilac-y blue. And you can see for the ray, this is the correct direction of the ray. The Augmenta, I believe, is also the lighter colour at the top and the darker midnight blue at the bottom. So that's the top rail there. But I believe these have been photographed the correct way around, and for the Augmenta anyway, so you'll see that. I believe the Augmenta ring slings as well have actually been photographed with the other side at the top. So just look out for that on the ring sling listings. If you're keen to have a certain colour at the top, then just read the description carefully on those, because I think they've been photographed the wrong way round. But you will see pictures of the Alia bags and the carriers on our website, so if you're interested in seeing those, then then you'll be able to see exactly how it will look when it's made up. Oh, Katie, wow! You know more than I do about our quilted weaves. Oh, okay. You're right. You're right. We have done a few more very small runs of them, but we have done a few more quilt weaves. Yes, so we've had the Ray Port de Sol, the Ray River, the Doors of Schön Narvi, although I thought that was a pocket weave, but it must be a quilt, or at least it had a prototype made of it. And then we did have a very small run of Okanami Viridian quilted, and then there's Ray Jane Doe, which was, I think it was, yes, I'm not sure if that was pocket weave or not, but I feel like that may have been the quilt. I think that was the quilted weave, and it was actually the prototype for the quilt weaves. So I think you're right. Brilliant. Oh, Lucia. Thanks so much. I'm literally alongside the video googling everything you mentioned and adding it to my ASO on Wrap Track. That's so sweet. Thank you so much. Okay, so these are both of our new releases for tomorrow. We do have a little surprise as well coming on the Agio warp with an underdog pattern that we have woven up as a special extra for our Secret Stash Happy Hour release. So that one you can find out. I think we'll probably be previewing it on our Secret Stash Happy Hour thread in Clan Oscha, so you can check that one out, and it will be super limited, and it's a hybrid weave, I believe. And we will all be there tomorrow evening, and Holly will be joining us, who's our one of our brand new members of staff, so hopefully you'll get to know her a little bit more over the next wee while. And we do have a few weeks of new releases coming up, so I will see you next week at the same time, same place. Oh, Amber, looks like you know something about the special release. Okay, let me check the last comments and then I will wish you farewell. Katie says, oh, and the Shire Bywater had a quilted version, right? Yes, it had a short run as well. My memory is awful when it comes to these things. Thank you, Katie, that's brilliant. Yes, indeed. Okay. So that's brilliant. Thank you so much for joining me. We will see you, look forward to chatting with you tomorrow evening in Clan Oscha from 7 o'clock. We'll have our normal Secret Stash Happy Hour where we'll be doing lots of chatter, giveaways and all sorts of things like that, and we will have our new releases coming at 7:30 BST. Brilliant. Okay, so I will post this video onto the website, onto our Facebook page, and you can read back through it. Let us know if you've got any questions. You can get us on Messenger or on our oh, I'm just looking at these last comments. Thanks, Pam. Okay, Narvi is quilted, right? Okay, cool. Thanks, Katie, that's funny. I can't remember my grocery list, but I can name Oscha Wrap History on demand. I love it. Thank you all so much for watching today. It's been lovely to chat to you all, and we will catch up soon, and I will share the video that we've done on quilt and pocket weave on the thread as well, and I'll pop that in the clan too for you all. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.